So, ignoring the, 3-minute recap plus opening equaling 5 minutes of this episode, the content that was actually new, which was luckily at least 3/4 of the episode, not going back to that classic Bleach half the episode being recapped from what I heard. This episode was probably the biggest hair-pulling moment for me. Holy shit, did this bloodbath, seeing characters big and small, torn apart, 1,000 dead in 7 minutes. I mean, if you want to see my full live reaction, I will have it linked. It's over on the Patreon. But the whole massacre, and I truly feel this way, I truly think this is the most hopeless, helpless, doomed Soul Society and our characters have ever been in. And the way that they can make nameless characters being brutally killed, because when you casually say 1,000 people have been killed in the matter of minutes, it takes longer to eat lunch than it did for them to kill 1,000 members of Soul Society. The fact that you can make so much death feel impactful, and the reason I'm hyping this up is because there's a lot of bloody scenes in anime where hundreds, 1,000 people get killed, and yeah, it sucks for the characters, but to truly feel like your life is in their hands. If Soul Society falls, if these characters fall, we're gonna die. It really makes you invested in the way that, yes, last week, we have some characters that we've come to expect for some time now end up dead. And we have nameless characters getting brutally chopped apart, named characters losing their bankai. And it really makes it feel hopeless. Realistically, you think, well, they have to win at some point, but the fact that the intro to this war, it honestly feels like by the time my boy Ichiko gets there, he was sealed off himself in this episode, not in the way that he lost his bankai, but he can't get to Soul Society. So, the fact of the matter is, it feels like by the time the one person who can't be robbed of his signature power, 99% are probably going to be dead. They had so many shots in this episode where they would pull the camera back and it would just be bodies. And it felt like it was miles long. The buildings burned, crumbled. It felt like a dragon just got done burning the entire city. And then they would showcase so many characters' bodies. There was one move in this episode where a body split in parts so evenly that you thought a flower was opening up to the sun. The way that they can so beautiful, but just so brutally just destroy hope. And honestly, I don't know how they deal with this, because here's the thing. Yes, we have one character who apparently, second time in a row, bankai couldn't be stole. Okay, that's great. That means one person is going to be very effective in any fight. But the thing is if you expect one person to be the difference between winning a war and not, when everyone else is getting brutally killed, they can't use their abilities without it being stolen. Are they stealing them so they can combine them into even greater powers, or just stealing it so they can't use it against? Either one of those options are deadly for the characters. Expecting Ichigo to be able to do everything alone, it feels like a fool's wish. But yes, getting him at the very least to the front lines would prevent extra casualties as it stands. But it doesn't feel like he's enough, so I don't know how they go about making this feel like there's actually hope. And I truly feel this way, that this is the most devastating start to any arc, because when reading Bleach to get caught up for this anime, I always had moments where, damn, Aizen, there's moments where you feel helpless, this man will crush everyone. And every arc has moments where you feel like the characters are bound to be defeated, and characters do ultimately lose in Bleach a fair amount. But the difference with this is it truly feels like nothing that's come before has given me this level of, holy shit, everyone could truly die like that. You end the episode with Morihime and my boy Chad. You can't do this to Chad. Just the quick shot, seeing his side obliterated, seeing characters bloody and bruised after seemingly my boy takes the cheapest of shots, but I'm cheering for it, because how many times have we seen movies, shows, where the noble hero wants to fight honorably, and then in return the villain takes the cheap shot, right? We're having this 1v1 duel, their pal in the background snipes us from the distance. Well, it's not honorable, but the villain took the cheap shot. Here, we have our boy take the cheap shot and seemingly kill this bastard who's been causing a ruckus. Big hole in the chest. I was thinking to myself, he looks dead. I mean, we're at the beginning of an arc. We could have a lot of characters that are very good impressions, first impressions, and we could kill them off rather quickly or keep them around for a while. But nope, he comes in and does it not to just one person, it does it to the whole goddamn cast that's standing there, and everyone looks like they're dead and on death's doorstep with the Grim Reaper casually just tapping his foot, tapping the watch, being like, bitch, I gotta go, you guys are on death's doorstep, let's go. And I don't know how you deal with this. Ichigo is the obvious answer, but how is one person enough when literally you kill 1,000 people in 7 minutes? By the time he gets there, it's entirely possible there will be like 5 people left standing. Renji comes in, and he's doing rather well. He almost had his Bankai stolen. And to see very powerful characters, like I think 4 people in the span of like less than 10 seconds lost their Bankai like this. The giant sword wall, giant cannon, just everything shattered. And the fact that you can shatter that so hard, it shatters expectations on where this is going to go. This is legit the most exciting start to an arc, hands down, that Bleach has seen to date. And obviously it helps that the production is holding up. I mean, the blue lightings, the almost like soccer pedals and everything else that was happening effects-wise, very well done. And I imagine the big reason why there was that recap at the start is because, well, with how much action was happening over the course of like probably 13 minutes of this episode felt like action. I mean, I imagine it was a nice way to get around having to animate more while just letting the stuff they did show that's new be completely brutal. And truthfully, I'm surprised by like how in they're going with the gore. Like, you're literally seeing close-ups of characters being ripped apart, and not like in just one spot. Like, their entire body will be just completely deformed, and then you'll see like the classic shonen action scenes, big punch coming your way, swords clashing, and then they'll just sucker punch you with, holy shit, how many more characters is that already on the death pile? And it seems like we haven't even progressed at actually defeating these goddamn Quincies. And I'm hyped, man. I am really hyped, if not terrified. The more they suffer, the more they struggle, the more exciting their victory will be. But it gets to the point where I see Chad or Hime or any of these characters so wounded like this that I say, oh god, one of them might not make it. And I love the fact that they're able to get me that terrified and excited, as it makes a arc like this just so goddamn compelling. And like, usually I would say like the reason they have so many wide shots is to get around having to detail a lot of things, because there's a lot more still shots in this episode. But honestly, I think Bleach, with what they're doing with this war, has some of the most effective wide shots that I've seen in a hot minute, because you're literally getting a sense of how big and large the massacre is and how clearly one-sided it is when they have like these white cloaks that aren't getting dirty and all we see is blood and fire with every other character. But yeah, I mean, this was a hell of an episode, a roller coaster. The biggest criticism I have is that I don't think we needed 3 minutes of a recap, but it's a small price to pay to get a quality episode like this. Thoughts, feelings, theories, where it could go from here. If you don't know that source, of course, do let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new around here. You can also consider supporting the Patreon if you want to see my live reaction to today's episode and other anime that I'm reacting to, or you can also get a video shoutout like Darion Smith is getting this week, so I appreciate the support. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.